remember Diego Moreno, a Kent police officer killed in the line of duty.
We all have a tremendous hole in our hearts. The hole will eventually heal, but the scars will be there forever, and we will never forget why.
He gave his life trying to protect his community.
He was a man. He's a legend. He's a hero. He's my son.
Now hundreds line the streets to pay their respects as loved ones say goodbye to a father, a husband, and a brother in blue. It is a heartbreaking day for law enforcement, not only in Kent, but all across our state. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Flores.
And I'm Marnie Hughes. It has been just over a week since Officer Moreno was killed. He put down spike strips to stop a truck running from police. The truck hit the spike strips, but moments after that passed, one of Moreno's fellow officers slammed into him in their patrol car. All three people who were allegedly in that truck have been arrested, but the Kent Police Department was left reeling from the loss of one of its most promising officers.
Diego, I'm now talking directly to you. You always had our backs, buddy. Whether we knew we needed a back or not, we'd turn around and there you were. And I make this promise to you and to you, Shelley, that the people who are the most important to you in this world, your family, will want for nothing, ever. Until my dying breath, I promise you both that. And just for you, buddy, I've got one last radio transition in me as a cop. 2 King 5-4 to 2 King 5-6. I know you're ready to secure and you're going home. You can clear. We've got this. Thank you.
We have team coverage on the memorial service, but first we go to Jamie Tompkins, who's in studio with a look at some of the touching moments from the officers' memorial service today.
Yeah, guys, law enforcement from near and far traveled to Kent to honor Officer Moreno. And today we heard from his colleagues, his wife, and even his mother. A channel of red and blue flashing lights lead black limousines through a long procession. Behind the tinted windows, the family of Kent Police Officer Diego Moreno, his wife Shelley, his 2 young children. On either side of the street, a show of support from people who have gathered to say thank you and goodbye. Outside the Showair Center, a flag is lifted by heavy hearts. And inside,
we are here to honor Diego's memory and pay our respects to his family.
Thousands of seats are filled by people who have come to remember a man so selfless. His story best told by the woman who forever holds his heart.
It's easy for you to see that Diego loved police work. But there's one thing Diego loved more, and that was being a daddy.
From the colleagues who knew him on patrol,
he was a gift to all of us. He touched us all.
To the woman who raised him to be the kind of man who serves and protects.
Diego was raised with the most important value of all. Family is the compass, and he lived by that standard. He was a man. He's a legend. He's a hero. He's my son.
Officer Moreno changed lives. He even saved lives. And beyond the badge, he touched an entire community. It's that same community surrounding his family now. His children so young, one can only wonder what they make of all of this, what they will remember of this time of their father.
That the people who are the most important to you in this world, your family, will want for nothing.
Goodness knows the people here today will help them to never forget.
I've got one last radio transition in me as a cop. 2 King 5-4 to 2 King 5-6. I know you're ready to secure and you're going home. You can clear. We've got this.
A very emotional day for so many people. Officer Moreno's mom said today that Diego had a lot of friends, and she said that's because he was the best friend anyone could have. And that is clearly evident in the testimonies that we heard today, guys.
All right, Jamie, so true. And continuing our team coverage, AJ Janavel was along the procession route earlier today.
Yeah, he's live outside the Kent Police Station right now where there is a growing memorial. AJ.
Brian, this has just kind of been the scene that you've seen all throughout the day. This memorial here is, as you mentioned, still growing. There was a woman who just walked up and placed a set of fresh flowers right with the other flowers, the balloons that you see here. I asked her if she knew Officer Moreno. She told me that she saw this memorial on the news and she felt compelled to come out here and add to this growing memorial for that officer who, as we've heard throughout the entire day, touched so many lives. You can see physically how many people were impacted by Officer Moreno, by these flowers, these balloons, the messages that are written on every single one of these cards. You can also see how big of an impact this officer had on this community earlier today.
Silence. That's all that could be heard along 4th Avenue South at around 11 Tuesday morning. Hundreds sat, waiting for this moment. A line of law enforcement stretching for miles from across the entire state, showing solidarity for one of their own, killed in the line of duty.
It's so good to see all the cities represented here today.
Mary Breivik says she's lived in Kent for more than 5 decades. This is her home, and she says when she heard about Officer Diego Moreno's death, she wanted to show support for her community.
I have so much respect for the police department.
And many other people like Breivik took a moment from their own busy lives to honor Officer Moreno and his service to them.
We as a community have united and we're here to help them in any way that we can.
Even though Officer Moreno is no longer with us, these community members say his sacrifice and commitment to them will never be forgotten.
And again, support from the entire community. Another aspect of support that you don't hear about is right here behind me, the Kent Police Department. Officers from the entire state have been here working so that the officers who are from the Kent Police Department could be at that memorial today. Reporting live here in Kent, I'm AJ Janavel for Q13 News.
All right, AJ, thank you. Now, one of Officer Moreno's hobbies was collecting patches from different law enforcement agencies. He told his son one day that he'd hand his entire collection down to him. Unfortunately, that day came too soon. The Kent Police Department has asked everyone who might have a patch they'd like to donate to the collection to mail them in and add to this collection right here. It's a small way people have been rallying to help in this very tough time. People from all across the country have pledged to donate. Now, if you'd still like to donate, mail the patches to the Kent Police Department. The address is right there on your screen. Be sure to label the envelope, "Attention Moreno Patch Collection." Now, to learn more about Officer Moreno's life, just go to our website, Q13Fox.com, and then click on the top banner that says Honoring a Fallen Officer. We're also going to have more from the memorial coming up in about 25 minutes. Well, we know orcas are suffering because of diminished food sources.
But a new discovery suggests local orcas may be suffering from a disease as well. Pathogens that can cause disease have been found in the fecal samples of J50. That's a starving 4-year-old southern resident orca. Though if she is diseased, experts say a lack of food is still the primary concern she and all other orcas are facing. Right now, southern resident numbers are the lowest they have been in decades, and the species is on the brink of extinction. Meanwhile, today, researchers say there has been no sighting of J35, the mother orca who has been nudging her dead calf around for more than a week.
Well, Facebook has been purging accounts that have been linked to new meddling in the 2018 election. The company announced they've purged over 30 accounts. All were part of a larger propaganda network. Facebook has been under heavy scrutiny ever since it was discovered that Russian agents use social media to interfere in American elections. Now, while Facebook cleans up their users, the government says they also have work to do, too.
Any attack on an election system, that is the actual system itself, to interfere with an election should be something that we should unite the entire world, that is a cyber crime and should be prosecuted.
Washington Senator Maria Cantwell has helped secure over $380 million to help states protect their election systems from hackers. Experts say we can expect social media propaganda and hacking attempts on elections to continue.
Nation states have been involved with surreptitious activity ever since the internet became commercialized and before that. It's just that the impacts have been growing. And what I think is really good is the fact that the general public is becoming aware.
Now, she also says the best thing any social media user can do is be skeptical and be vigilant and try to check for sources for the things you read online.
All right, time to talk about the cool down. It was noticeably different outside today. As we take a look outside over Lake Washington, you still cannot see the mountains.
Yes, you can see the foothills.
We have the foothills and a little bit of haze lingering, but Tim Joyce is here. It felt like Mother Nature turned back on the AC.
Yeah, and it really was so welcome for so many of us out there. Instead of those 90s, the 80s, it feels so much better. And not even a lot of us are hitting the 80s. That marine layer really came in with a bit of a vengeance, and it is improving visibility in many spots. But yeah, we are pretty dry around the region as well. And taking a look at how things shape up along the waterfront, yeah, it's visibility has improved. Still a little bit of those hazy skies are out there, but what a difference a day can make. 10-degree difference from where we were yesterday at this hour. And overall, that is the case pretty much everywhere up and down I-5. Unfortunately, we're still warmer than we've been in areas in the center part of the state by a couple degrees, but the winds have been doing a really great job of bringing that cooler air off of the ocean and cleaning out our air somewhat as far as the particulate matters and the smoke goes. Bellingham down 13 degrees, Olympia and Everett down about 10. And we are still bone dry around the region. Today is our 24th day without measurable precipitation, but there is a chance for some showers in the forecast. We'll have those details coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, Tim. An emergency proclamation signed today by Governor Inslee will make sure our state can better deal with wildfire threats. The proclamation will cover all 39 counties, ensures immediate response of firefighting resources, and it also allows for the assistance from the Washington National Guard. The Department of Natural Resources has already requested from the National Guard the use of aviation assets as well as 20-person hand crews to be deployed to eastern Washington.
We are following some breaking news this afternoon. A federal judge just temporarily stopped the Trump administration from allowing the plans for 3D printed guns to be made public online. It's all because of a legal challenge brought by Washington State. Now, the ruling also comes hours after President Trump tweeted, quote, "I am looking into 3D plastic guns being sold to the public. Already spoke to the NRA. Doesn't seem to make much sense," end quote. Now, Cody Wilson, the founder of Defense Distributed, first published downloadable designs for a 3D printed firearm back in 2013. But the State Department ordered him to stop because it says he was violating federal export laws. But the State Department reversed course in late June, allowing Wilson to resume posting those blueprints.
It's outrageous. I mean, honestly, if we were at a bar having a beer, my language would be even stronger. I can assure you. They essentially threw the game. They're winning, right, decisively throughout this litigation. And then, arbitrarily, they say, we're going to settle this case.
Our Attorney General's lawsuit claims the plastic guns help terrorists, criminals, and even threatens public safety.
Coming up next, a family's plea after their home was repeatedly attacked.
Plus, big news about the NHL possibly coming to Seattle. We have brand new images that shows what our hockey arena could actually look like.